Hey there folks, my name is Emptyberry, and welcome to today's episode of Lore to Go, the series where we talk about the story behind games in 5 minutes or less. This episode will be about the story of Destiny 2's Season of the Plunder, which saw a swashbuckling adventure amongst the Elixni, the introduction of a new disciple of the Witness, and the return of an ally thought lost. With all that said, let's jump into it. At the start of the season, the Drifter enlists the Guardian's help to recover some stolen cargo from House Salvation. If you're unfamiliar with House Salvation, they are a group of Fallen that aligned with the Darkness and utilized stasis a few years ago. Their leader, Eramis, was the main antagonist of the Beyond Light campaign, which ended with her being frozen in a stasis prison after being defeated by the Guardian. Since that time, House Salvation has been leaderless, but Drifter insists that this cargo they took was special. The Guardian fights through the Fallen and finds that the cargo was actually the Spider, an Elixni gang leader that used to reside on the Tangled Shore. As thanks for their help, the Spider gives the Drifter his ship, assuming he can take it back from House Salvation. The Guardian defeats more of House Salvation and frees the Spider's ship, but not before coming across the shattered remains of Eramis' prison. The Guardian and the Drifter met with Mithrax, the Kell of Light, and his daughter Ido in the Elixni quarters of the last city. Ido is a scribe who aspires to chronicle the history of the House of Light. She is also adorable and must be protected at all costs. At the meeting, Mithrax lamented about the old Elixni pirate crews working under Eramis and how they needed to be stopped. Unfortunately, most of the Vanguard was still busy cleaning up the mess that Callus made during the Season of the Haunted, thus leaving only their small group to handle the Elixni pirates. They began to hunt down the pirate lords in order to discover more about their plans. While raiding one of the pirate lords, they find a strange relic hidden amongst their treasure. Upon further study, Ido discovers that it is emitting darkness energy, though it is trapped within the outer casing of the relic itself. She says that she and Mithrax will continue to investigate the relic and encourages the Guardian to continue their quest. Mithrax reveals that the relics are Elixni legends, said to grant powers similar to those that the Traveler can give. He implored the Guardian to retrieve the relics before Eramis, especially if the Witness is the one commanding her to find them. During this time, we see a little family drama between Ido and Mithrax. Ido is trying to pry into details of the relic's past, as well into the past of her father. Mithrax, on the other hand, forbids Ido from taking part in seeking out new relics and information. He goes so far as to threaten the Spider just for talking to her. Ido realizes that he is clearly hiding something and takes matters into her own hands. She calls for a parley with Eramis, a meeting in which no violence can be done. There, Eramis tells Ido the truth about her father. Long ago, when the Elixni first came to the Sol system, they found the lunar pyramid beneath the moon's surface. Within it, they discovered the dead body of a being known as Nezarec, one of the disciples of the Witness. It is also revealed that Nezarec led the Black Fleet's assault on Earth during the collapse. The Elixni saw the power this being possessed and carved up his body to create the relics that the pirate lords have. At the time, Mithrax was a baby, but his parents gave him one of the relics to grow up with. The corruption of the darkness from them drove him to brutality amongst his own people, killing and stealing from his own. Eventually, the relics were separated, and Mithrax spent the next few centuries attempting to atone for his sins. However, as Eramis says, he will always be a liar, a thief, and a killer. Ido would lament that her father did not tell her this truth himself, saying that Mithrax doesn't want her to know who he is. Mithrax would counter that he wants her to forget about their past, to not be burdened by it, and instead to look only forward. However, as a scribe, Ido cannot do that. Herself and the Drifter go on to stress that what we do now matters more than what we did in the past. While this was happening, the Guardian continued gathering relics from the pirates. Upon learning the whereabouts of the last one, Ido takes it upon herself to find the relic without using violence. She does this in the hopes that she can show both Eramis and her father that there is a better way forward. Unfortunately, she runs afoul of the Lucent Brood, who are also hunting the relics for their own purposes. Mithrax races to her aid, but not before Eramis gets there. Upon seeing each other, Eramis and Mithrax launch into a ferocious battle, one which ends with Mithrax having a sword to Eramis' throat. Ido pleads with him not to kill her, stating that Eramis had protected her, which causes Mithrax to relent and let Eramis flee. Having gathered the final relic of Nezarec, Mithrax and Ido were able to harness the raw, primal darkness energy from within them and transfer them into a liquid state. Having learned from Eris Morn that the powers could have healing properties, they gave this concoction to Saint 14, in the hopes that he could give it to Osiris, who was still in a coma following the events of the Season of the Lost. The energy of the relics caused Osiris to awaken, having gleaned information about Savathun's future plans from when he was possessed by her. However, and most importantly, he was alive and back amongst the Vanguard. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Lore to Go. The season of the Plunder was more lighthearted than past seasons, but it spoke of important themes such as letting go of past shame and embracing the future, which is something a lot of people should take to heart. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. That's all for today though. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.